I never wanted to hit the target, I want to hit through the target.
Without further ado, introduce the Angelo Kinard.
So we're going to start with a question. Can anybody guess what I do for a living? Okay, that's one. What else? You said work? Who said workout? Somebody said workout? Workout? So how do you work out for a living? I'm interested because I want that job. Think about it. Let me know.
There's people who are Olympic people who do Olympic lifting.
Okay.
Technically work out for their
Sorta.
Also people.
Yeah, he helped you out, right?
There's certain sports like they've turned lifting.
Pause. Now you said Olympic people that do it for a living, right?
Mm-hmm.
By definition, that can't be true. I'm gonna tell you why. You have to be an amateur to compete in the Olympics. Unless what?
Unless it's basketball.
Basketball. Right. Why? Because they allowed our pros to play in the Olympics. So we still not making a living working out, right?
I mean, no.
But somebody said train athletes, right? Which is absolutely correct. The name of my company is Advanced Sports Performance. As you can see, I have all my information. In case you want to use any of your social media networks, or if you hear something good, I'd appreciate it if you post it. But in addition to training athletes, which is what I started in, what I also do is I'm training minds at the same time. When you're working with elite athletes, what you find is everybody's level of performance is pretty much the same. The thing that separates the elite of the elite is mental preparation. So I'm training minds and I'm training bodies. And why do I say that? Right now, I have two up-and-coming professional boxers. One is the younger brother. He's just started. He's got four victories. He's undefeated. Older brother is now, he's on Showtime. He's starting to enter into the big leagues. And now he's seeing the difference between all the other opponents he's fought, and now we're on major television, big things on the line. So we have to prepare his brain. Because now it's not just I'm in the ring and I have this opponent and these people around the ring. I have millions of people watching me on TV, so it's mental preparation. So that's one aspect. That's one of the things I do. Can anybody else guess what else I do? Anybody? Say again? What about football? Coach football. I've done that as well. Teach. Right. What else? I run a business, right? That's an important part. Like, it's one thing to train athletes, but you have to run a business if you want a career, you want something long term. So, with that being said, I do not have a degree in anything fitness related. I have a business degree. And I also have a master's in business because that's as essential as training the athletes, right? And as an athlete, it's important to also know what? The business side of your sport, right? So, in addition to training athletes, running a business, I'm also a speaker. I do this. I travel the country speaking to youth, different groups, and I share my message, which I have constructed called Life GPS, Goal, Plan, Sacrifice. Goal, Plan, Sacrifice. Why is it a life GPS? When we lost, we use what? A GPS, right? But for me, that GPS is goal, plan, sacrifice. And it's in that order because it's important to, one, establish your goals, two, develop a plan for achieving that goal, and then three, decide on what you're going to sacrifice to get there. And each element is vitally important. So does anybody have a goal, a dream, something that they want to achieve? Yes, sir.
Running track in college.
Okay, running track in college. What about you? Be in the NFL? As what? Anybody else? Point guard in the NBA. Okay, so what's your plan for getting there? Okay. What grade are you in right now? So let's not skip high school first, right? We got to do that first, right? And what are you doing right now to prepare yourself as a wide receiver? Okay, that's part of it. But this is why it's important to have that plan, right? Because there's different elements that go into reaching that goal. How about yourself, sir? What's your plan? Sounds like we don't have a plan, right? But it's important. And track, right? What are you willing to sacrifice to make it there?
Money for personal trainers.
Okay.
Takes away from schoolwork.
Okay.
Risking injury.
Okay. Let me ask you this. Are you on social media?
Yes, sir.
How often do you think you spend on social media in a given day? Ballpark.
1-2 hours.
2 hours. Are you willing to give that up? Okay. Because that's where we decide who really wants it and who doesn't. Because like with anything, it takes earning it, correct? And too often we equate earning it with money. So we earn it, right? But in order to earn it, you have a question? Well, tell me, share. That's what we're here for. Gentlemen, this is not me talking to you, it's me talking with you. So if you wanted something to say, raise your hand, let's talk about it. What's your thing?
Well, I was gonna say my goal is to do sports management. So
Okay.
I wanted to, I always want to be in a management position. I want to be
Good.
able to restrict things.
I like the sound of that because too often people strive for what they see on TV. So when it comes to, often when I ask this question, I hear, I want to be a rapper. I hear that all the time, right? Because that's the people that's on TV. Rappers don't make the money. It's the people behind the scenes, right? But I never hear, I want to be a record label producer. Or I want to own a label. Or I want to know the ins and outs of that. So if I am a rapper, then I can prolong my career.
Like
Talk to me.
like P Diddy.
P. Diddy, right? Like who else? Master P. Because look, we want longevity, right? But too often we want fame. We want to be the 50,000 likes on whatever your social media thing is, right? But you want a career. That's good. But that's not the world we live in. But that's good. Because that means at some level you're focused. And that's what we want. So we want all those things. We want to achieve those goals. And we know we got to earn it, right? So we start here. We want to earn it. But in order to earn it, you got to do what? You got to learn it. If there's something that you want to achieve, you got to study it. So as an athlete, what do you study as a track athlete?
Prepare your body before meets.
Good.
Take care of your body, what your body needs to perform well.
Let me ask you a quick question because I wrote an article on this. Where does a run start?
Before you even check in, track is 60% mental.
Okay. But physically, where does the run start? Okay. Stand up for me. This will help you out too. Stand right here for me. So get in your running position. Yes. No, it doesn't have to be blocks. Just give me mid stride or just give me a lean. You're just racing down the block. So this is our run position, right? How are our arms situated?
Before you start running,
Mhm.
I guess like at your sides. I mean, I usually start at the blocks.
Okay. But okay, so after you come out of the blocks, where are your arms?
Like, as soon as you come out,
Mm-hmm. Good. Right. So keep the hands there because I want to illustrate the point. He's out of the blocks. He's in position. But before you leave the blocks, and why are the blocks essential?
to get a fast start.
Because what? No, it's simple. Don't make it complicated. Think about this. Have a seat right here. You're in space. Slide back a little bit. And you're running in space. Move up a little bit. Pump your arms, drive your legs. You're not moving anywhere, right?
No.
The blocks are essential because I need something to push off of. So it starts at the ground. But if you miss that point, then that's not important, right? It's vital because that's where it starts. So we need to focus on, like you said, you use the block. Some people just, if I'm at the line of scrimmage on the football field, my position is everything. And my arms are everything. So let's go back to your start position. So you're out of the blocks. And this is where my job as a trainer, focusing on every element, comes into play. So you're out of the blocks and your arms are doing what? But give me that frozen position you gave me. Now, he's in a very good position. He's got good, proper arm swing. Elbows at 90 degrees. But what happens is he loses speed here because the arm is straight, right? I need the arm here because it anticipates my next movement, which will be the punch through, boom. So my arms are here. Just moving my arms. See how it's moving my body? That's why that's essential. And that's why good coaching, constant practice, can be the difference between what? Reaching your goal and not reaching your goal. So we got to do what again? We got to learn to earn, right? You can have a seat. But before we learn, we got to do what? We got to have a want to. I can give you the guidelines and the blueprint for getting to where you want to go, but if you don't want to do it, there's nothing for you. Yeah, SAT word, you can use that. You got to yearn to learn in order to what? Right? But you know what happens? Most people do this. They just want to get it without working to get it. Right? So when I get a guy, I train a number of fighters. UFC, you've seen them on TV. I'll get a guy that comes in and he'll say, hey, Coach D, I want to be a fighter. You know what I tell him? No, you don't. Why? No, because you know what? They want to fight, but they don't want to train. Anybody can get in the ring for 15 minutes, but are you going to wake up every morning at 5 in the morning and know in your mind, I'm going in here to get beat up? Every day. And then after I get beat up, then you got to come see me, and I'm going to beat you up again in a workout. And then I got to study film, and I got to diet, and I still got to take my online classes because, again, you got to develop your mind as you develop your body. And look, I may be doing all those things for 2 months, and then my opponent pulls out. So then I got to start the process all over again. And then if I get to the fight, I might lose. So you got to consider all those things before you say, hey, I want to fight, right? So if we want to be NFL, NBA, it takes a lot because everyone wants to be that top draft pick, right? And I've had those guys. But then you also have the guys that don't make it. And you know what they have to do? They have to go to Canada to play. They have to go to Europe to play. And they're playing in hopes of bettering themselves so that they can get back to the league. So it's dangerous to have a dream because it's going to take some work. Because wanting it is not enough. Right? And back to our learning, what's missing a lot these days is we want to still get back to this earn thing. So who in here interns anywhere? You know what intern is? Internship? You're working to learn. You're sacrificing your what? Time so that you can learn, right? But no, I need some money. It's an investment for your goal. Immediate returns aren't always the best thing. You got to put in the work because you may be getting $1 million information, but you miss it because you wanted to make some money. Right? What's the question? We can talk. I want you to talk. I want your input. So did you decide what you're going to sacrifice to become a point guard? Are you working on your left hand, right hand dribble? Which one? Are you right-handed or left-handed? Right-handed. So are you working on your left hand dribble? How often?
Mostly like
Look, it is or it isn't. You're either prepared or you're unprepared. There's no in between. Right? Like I work weapons and tactics with law enforcement. So we do knife training. There's no, I kind of got cut. You either cut or you're not cut. Right? So same thing. You got to decide how bad you want it, because if you come to train and we're doing knife self-defense, the first rule of knife self-defense is you're going to get cut. You got to get cut. Why? Because you got to get over the fear of getting cut. So that although I got cut, I can protect myself and still survive. Because it's a life or death situation. So I can't get cut a little bit. I'm kind of prepared, right? Prepared, unprepared. Yes, sir. You got to speak up.
I was gonna say I had some experience. When I was younger, I used to play like every sport,
Okay.
and so I don't know. I just always loved playing sports, and I played them mostly because it was fun.
Okay. Good.
I went to college. I'm in college now. I
What
played
school?
Soccer, UDC.
Okay. Good.
Soccer for UDC. That's when I learned that it just wasn't for me,
Right.
because believe me, I love playing soccer. It's not even my favorite sport, but I love playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody there was more into it than I was.
Absolutely.
I was playing it because it was fun.
Fun.
For me.
Right.
In college, sport is no longer really fun.
Talk to them. Absolutely.
It's basically a job. You gotta get up early. You gotta do the work.
Right.
You gotta go to class. You got another practice, and then after that, you're not getting paid to do it. So
Because it is an investment, right?
yeah, and it wasn't for me.
Right.
And I tried to go through it anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and I suffered because of it.
How'd you suffer?
I suffered in my classes
Okay.
because I was slacking in my classes,
Hey.
trying to go through.
We're getting back to that sacrifice, right? Something is affected. And it's hard to focus when you have that goal and responsibility, but that's his life. We're going to have that. So you got to decide right now, do you want it that bad? You want it that bad? Give me 20 push-ups. Knock them out. You taking too long. Let's go. Let's see. Let's see these push-ups. Let me make sure they're right. Oh, they're looking pretty good. There we go. Keep going until I tell you to stop. Absolutely. Because we got to make sure you're tired before we start working out. We got to pre-fatigue you before we actually start to work out. That's just the stuff he's used to doing. Don't forget to breathe over there. Oh, we starting to slow down. Oh, shoot. Come on, get that floor off your chest. Get that. Go. All right, now I need 20. That was a warm-up. Give me 20 push-ups. You can have a seat. But that's what it is. You got to look. That's every day, right? That means let me wake up before school, do that. But then after that, you got to start taking the non-traditional route. So if I want to be my basketball player, you eating candy, you want to be an NBA player, right? Because it matters. And you're still in your dream. And you're doing it to yourself. Don't do that. But it's something to think about, right? Trust me, I like candy when I was younger too. But that's the sacrifice you got to make, right? Because you got to be pretty lean for track. Sacrifice. Just something to consider. But if you want to eat your candy, you can. I'll put it to you the way I put it to my athletes. Whenever they tell me they don't want to do something, I just need to hear 5 words. I choose to underachieve. Because it's your choice. I'm there to train you, but it's your choice whether you want to do the work or not. So if you choose to underachieve and continue to eat that candy like he thought he snuck it by me. But if you choose to underachieve, that's your choice. And you got to know that you made that choice. And I'm not just saying that's you, but just something to think about, right? But back to what I was saying about taking a non-traditional route. So, what was your sport again? Soccer? So, let's say you want to be an elite soccer player. Would you be willing to do yoga?
Actually, we used to do yoga.
Talk to him. Why? It's important, right?
I love doing it.
Right?
But my college coach doesn't want to do it. My high school coach used to make us do yoga before games, and I thought it was great. Gets relaxed, we're peaceful before the game.
And I'm not even talking about peaceful. I'm talking about functional application.
I mean, it has that too. But
I hear you. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, to achieve what you want to achieve, you have to do the things that you don't want to do. No, it's not more than your opponent. It's the things that you don't like to do. So if you like lifting weights, you need to run. If you like to run, you need to lift weights. Because the things that you want to do come easy to you. It's the stuff that you don't want to do that makes the difference. And that's when we earn it. And that's when we yearn it because we do it even though we don't want to. But it's essential. Right? So are we starting to develop a plan for our goals and what we want to sacrifice? Are we getting that, guys? I mean, you can talk. It's okay. So you can say yes. You can say yes. All right. Just want to make sure y'all still alive over there. So, what's your goal?
I'm gonna get my food handling license.
So that you can become what?
A chef.
A chef. Okay, see, that's good. So how are you studying to become a chef right now?
Practicing more food.
Okay.
I mean, how to cook more food.
Okay. Because we're here to help you. I just want you to think outside the box. Because, like you said, you want to get that license, right? Yeah. What I don't want you to do is wait. Because there's other things that you can pursue while you're waiting for that to occur, right? So that's, look, I don't know, watching cooking channel, and reading a book because you get to learn the culture so that you know their foods. I mean, for me, my career has taken me places that I never thought I would go. Like next Wednesday, I'm going to Turkey. I never thought I would go to Turkey. I never planned to go to Turkey. But one of my fighters has a fight in Turkey. So guess where I'm going? Turkey. So I'm the country. That's what I said. Right? I didn't know that. But again, you study. Yeah. On the Mediterranean. They putting us up in a resort. It's going to be 65 degrees. I can't wait. But hard work is what got me there. And I didn't think boxing would take me there, but boxing's taking me there. But while I'm there, I need to immerse myself in the culture. I can learn about the foods. So maybe we also need to travel. But before you can travel, you need to do what? Got to have a passport. Right? So it's steps that you may not think that this is the plan of action that are important to help you achieve what you want to achieve. Because I'm sure you don't want to be the worst chef. You want to be the best chef, right?
Yeah.
So have you found a chef to mentor with?
Yeah.
See, that's good. Because that's where we want to start with is having a mentor. Everybody should have a mentor. Because this whole notion of, I'm going to do it by myself, I don't need anybody, is wrong. It's wrong. Or I'm going to be an overnight sensation. Do you know how many nights it takes to become an overnight sensation? 21. A lot. 21? I ask you this then. How many hours does it require to become an expert in something?
I don't think there's a specific.
There absolutely is. I'm going to give you the book. To be an expert? 60 hours? How long did it take you to walk? You think it's more than 60 hours? No. As a baby, to learn to walk.
Oh, it take a good minute. I don't know how long.
But approximately how long?
A year or 2.
3 years.
Where's my chalk?
2 years.
10,000 hours. 10,000 hours. So I want you to write this down. It's a book. You can put it in your phone. Malcolm Gladwell is the author. Now the name of the book escapes me. But he wrote several books. I love his books. I'm trying to come up with it now. I'm drawing a blank. But one of them I do want you to read is called David and Goliath. You said what? I mean, if you didn't get the title, I want to make sure you got it. Okay. David and Goliath. Goliath. Malcolm Gladwell. Look him up for me. I can't think of the name of the book I want to give you all. But he also wrote Tipping Point and Blink. Did you Google it for me? Google Malcolm Gladwell. Mm-hmm. I should give you a list of his books. Yeah, that's him. What is the name of the book I want to tell you all? Outliers. There we go. That's the name of the book. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. 10,000 hours. He studied it. Yes. What's your goal, sir?
I want to be a video game engineer.
Okay, so what are you doing right now to help you become a video game engineer? Something I know nothing about.
I already know the paycheck when you first start out is like 70,000 to 100,000.
Okay, and that's good, but you're focusing on this part. I need you to focus on this part. How are you preparing yourself? What are you doing to learn about becoming a video game engineer?
I have an engineering class.
Good. Do you have any books on it? That might be a good thing. So let's research some books. Because again, we need 10,000 hours to become an expert as a video game engineer. That's important. And I know you're looking at 10,000 hours, you're saying that's a lot. And guess what? It is. Right? But that's a good way for you to be able to calculate how long it's going to take you to become proficient at your goal. Because you can do the math. You just work backwards. So how many hour a days or 2 hours a day? So now we're talking about years, right? So if we want to be that chef, that's some time. So, but you can take that 10,000 hours, you can do the math. You can say in 3 years, I'll be an expert if I work on it. Now, it has to be dedicated practice. It can't just be, oh, I was watching TV. I mean, I need you in front of have your video, working on your knife skills, reading your books. That's important, right? But now, at least you know how to calculate it. So use that number. Yes, sir. Actually, let me get him first because he had his hand up first. Yes.
I want to become a manga artist / author.
Okay. As a manga artist, do you know what other art forms influence that? But what historical art forms? And the reason I say that is I had my roommate in college. He said, I want to become a music video director. I said, you should do that. And they said, here are the classes that you have to take. So, of course, he thought we were going to be shooting video. You got to learn history. He had to take a sewing class. Like, what does sewing have to, but sewing clothes, right? But I know, because it sounds like it doesn't match. But he needs that know the look of what he's shooting, which if he has a knowledge of, not that he has to sew the clothing, but if you know what you want from your look and you have the history in the background, now I can be more precise in translating my vision. So it's important. Somebody has something over here? Come on, we gotta get you guys involved, man. Y'all too quiet, man. What's your goal?
I want to become president of the United States.
So what do you have to do to get there? No, don't laugh. This is good. But what do you have to do to get there?
Study.
What do you have to study?
History of the U.S.
What else?
The government.
What was President Obama's former occupation?
Study.
He was an attorney, right? So there are many paths to get there, but understand it's not just studying the history of the government. That's part of it. But you had to pursue something else to take that next step to become president, right? Ronald Reagan was what? He was an actor, right? But he still had to have a knowledge of the political process, but he knew how to do what? He knew how to market himself. Because that's where we live. We live in a marketing world. Good. Do you have a marketing mentor?
Well, I'm
Yes or no?
no.
All right. Now, you see I have some information up here. You can contact me. I mean, if you like. I'm just saying, you're not getting what I'm saying?
No, I'm good with that. I already put in
No, but you're not. I said, do you have a marketing mentor?
No.
And-
mentor. Yeah, I know. I got
Oh, but you weren't saying. I'm just making sure.
I wanna-
Because sometimes you just got to ask, is what I'm saying.
I want to get my master's in sports marketing.
Okay. So, quick marketing lesson. Because most people think marketing doesn't matter. Everything is marketing. Let me tell you why. Say again?
I thought you was going to some stats.
I'm gonna give you some stats. But I'm gonna tell you why it's important. Or why it's everything. What kind of shoes do you have on your feet? You don't have to say it, but just think about it.
No, it's just in general.
Just in general. Just in general. Right? Now I want you to think about the price of your shoes. Right? Now I want you to think of what are the materials that went into making my shoes. Then I want you to go back to that price. Because normally, unless it's leather or some, actual material, it's glue and plastic and rubber, and it might cost you $120. But here's the thing. How much did it cost to make them?
Not that much, probably like $20.
So why do we pay $120 for something that costs $5 to make?
So they can make a profit and do it all.
No, I said why do you spend the money?
Oh,
They market.
Because they market it, and it's a thing to have and do.
Like ladies
Why are we absolutely? Why are we standing in line
or Pepsi.
for plastic and fighting over them? Makes no sense, and it's done every day. It's done every day. Makes no sense, and it's not an investment. Even if you collect the shoes, when is the last time you went and paid bills with these shoes you got? Right? Take some thinking, right? Even with your dreams, you got to be careful with your dreams. My dream is I want to have what's the car in that song? I woke up in the something. Bugatti, right? Here's the question though. How much is an oil change for a Bugatti? Right, but you don't think about that. You just want the car. You want to get there without maintaining it. What's the price? Well, it can't be on. What's the price? Talk to me. For the oil change? That's good. That's what I like. But most people wouldn't even do that. No, that's what it costs for a $500,000 car. I mean, $500 million car, $500,000 car, whatever it is. But maintenance is key. Whether it's a vehicle or ourselves. So that $120 that you're investing in these shoes, are you invested in yourself? Because it's very frustrating. We have these libraries on the side of our hip and we don't use them. I know. Yeah, right? Because we're distracted. We're taking pictures, we're reading posts and looking at videos and World Star, whatever it is, but we're not getting anything out of it. You're paying a phone bill every month and you're not using it to better yourself. You're not emailing somebody that might be able to be your mentor. I'm messing with you, man. I know, I'm just messing with you. Relax, I'm just messing with you. You're missing it. Just saying, I'm right here and you can email me. But it's a thought, right? So how often are you looking at cooking videos on your phone?
nah, I watch it on TV.
I believe you. I'm just asking on your phone.
Never cut
Okay.
my phone on got in it.
Okay, well then, but that's something we can add to it, right?
Yeah.
How often are we watching football training videos on your phone? What's that? I know. But remember, we got to get to 10,000 hours. So we got to take advantage of every moment. Because minutes turn to hours, which turn to 10,000, right? So are we wasting time sacrificing the things that we need to sacrifice to get to where we want to go or not? And it's a yes or no. There is no in between. I wish there was, but it's not. There's no in between. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. Because if you're kind of doing it, you're not doing it. You're not focused, right? So what's your dream, sir? What's your goal? Okay. So what do you do? What's your plan to get there?
Finish school first.
Finish. Why are you going to wait to achieve your dream?
No, I'm not gonna wait.
But that's what you just said. Oh, man, you better be in a rush because somebody else wants your job.
That's right.
What you mean you're not in a rush? Now, if you say you don't have a plan, I understand that.
I'm preparing myself like.
Okay, so I'm going to help. This is what we call a hot seat. When we do mastermind groups, it's a hot seat. So this is what you want to achieve. I want to use the collective minds to help you get there. So what are you doing to prepare yourself? You're writing your music down. Are you studying anybody's music?
Yeah.
Who's?
Got a lot of people. Migos, Lil Wayne.
No. I know. Ask that question. I'm gonna tell you.
All right, go ahead. Tell me.
History. Are you studying hip hop historically? And why is that important? Because those are still the influencers today. Just studying the people that are relevant now is good, but you got to have some perspective. And if you don't have any perspective, you don't know where's the trend going next. So who's somebody that's contemporary? 2 Chainz. Have you ever studied 2 Chainz?
Yeah, I say you
Okay, how? Tell me about 2 Chainz, and I'm gonna tell you why it's important.
mastered out of college with an honor roll.
Say again?
You mastered out of college with an honor roll.
Right. So do you know he had to change the way his style to make more money? He tells you this. Listen to it. He'll tell you he has dumbed down his approach to make money. Because it was over everybody's head. Because again, he has a college degree. He knows what he's doing. But instead of giving you complex linguistics, he's got to say the same thing over and over, and you're like, oh, I love it. He dumbed it down. He put sugar in your vegetables so you can eat them. Right? Because let's think about, this is a classic line. She got a big booty, so I call her Big Booty. That takes no thought. But y'all eat it up. Oh, man, that's my song. At some point, listen, what happens when you eat too much sugar? You're going to get a cavity. You got to study. I mean, literally, you can study a thesaurus. Increase your vocabulary. You got to study the classics, or are you studying instrumentation? Again, it's taking a step back from what you think is important. Because a lot of the guys you name, those are going to be fads. That's not longevity. That's not Dr. Dre and, I mean, you name them that's been in the game for decades. They're behind the scenes now. Because those are the producers, right? Look to where they start and now where they are now. I mean, they became businessmen. So you got to study business. You got to study music from a historical perspective, instrumentation, because that's important. Because guess what? The most dangerous thing that can happen is you become successful and you don't know why. Because if it's taken away from you, you can't replicate it. It's important. Because I've seen it happen. I had a fighter. He was on the Ultimate Fighter TV show. He won the show. As a coach, I can see he doesn't know how to fight. But he was winning, though. And because he was winning, oh, I got this. I know what I'm doing. It's easy. And as soon as he made it to the big time, you've never heard of him again. So success can be dangerous. It's step by step. So you may not even like drawing, but it's essential.
I don't, but
It's essential, right? So you gotta, again, your goals and your dreams can be dangerous because of what they require. So it's essential to have a overall knowledge of where you want to go. And again, it's okay if you don't have a plan, because a plan may just be to develop a plan. So if you're unsure of your plan, what do? You just research. Libraries are open all the time. When was the last time you were in the library?
Tuesday.
Good. That's good. Because you know the old adage is if you want a secret, you hide it in the library, hide it in the book. People don't read books. But you, like I said, that library on your hip, gotta use it, guys. Use the resources you have. There should never be an excuse.
I gotta go. I'm gonna email you.
You sure?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you want a mentor. You didn't seem like you.
No,
Okay, I'm just checking. I'm gonna give you a hard time.
Right?
Yeah.
Both?
It's both.
All right.
You might want to take it down too.
I got you. I gotta take that down.
Thanks for coming though. And you got the right team on your head. That's good. All right, no problem. Yes, sir. Oh, you raised your hand. Oh, I'm sorry. I do self-defense work, so I see movement. So we want to earn. We got to learn. We got to yearn. You see I like the little flow so you can kind of remember that. Sacrifice. It's important. Because we can't get to those other things until we sacrifice, right? So what's your goal?
Play basketball.
Man, we got all these basketball players in here, man. Okay. What if you get hurt and you can't play anymore? Then what are you going to do?
Work with IT.
You just going to give up basketball altogether? You don't want to be a coach? Talk to me. Your backup is IT? So what are you doing right now to pursue information technology? I like that, by the way. I want you to have a backup. What are you doing? Oh, come on, man. So
That's gonna be my trade when I get into town.
So why are you waiting?
Cause I can't.
Well, no, we'll never wait for a dream. You shouldn't wait. And I'm not saying you have to master it right now, but if you're not pursuing it now, you're putting yourself in a hole. Because how many hours we need to get there? 10,000. So if we're on 0, we got a long way to go. So just start on the first hour. You got to start somewhere, right? And it doesn't mean you have to give up the basketball. Now, I want you to see this. You see this? Y'all eating that candy. Now you're tired. Huh? You not tired? What you yawning for? Oh, you stretch. Well, let's do some stretch. You want to do some real stretches? Oh, come on, man. You know I'm a trainer, right? So I know. So don't. You were yawning. And I know you were yawning. But do you see the effect of not feeding yourself properly? NFL, NBA. Huh? Oh, okay. I'm just saying. I'm not saying it was him. I appreciate it. But do you see the importance of, right? Because if bad fuel is bad result, right? I try to notice everything because when I'm training, people try to hide that they working out stuff. So I'm watching. And when you think I'm not watching, that's when I'm really watching. I'm looking right at my man rocking in his chair, right? So what was your goal? I don't want to skip you. I cannot hear you whispering. A cop. What kind of police officer? You want to walk the beat? You want to be a detective, K9, SWAT? What you want to do? K9? So are you working with animals now? Oh, how many hours? We got to work with them, right? Because I train K9 officers. I train SWAT team officers. That's important, right? So let's start. What type of dogs do they use in K9? What else? Nope. Pit bull? You saw a police officer with a pit bull? Man, where is that? I need to see that. No. Belgian Malinois. Look it up. Belgian Malinois. Don't ask me how to spell Malinois. Have no. But again, you want to be a K9 officer, I need you to have some basic knowledge of what they do. Okay. Whew, thought that was it. So you're going to start working on that, right? And what about dog training and handling? You gotta work on that? I don't see. Write it down. Yeah, let's write it down. It's free information. You don't want it? I'm just trying to help you out. What's the question? Comment? What's that talk? Listen, feel free to speak. What's up? You didn't say anything, or you just don't want to say what you said? You want to be special ops?
No.
Sure.
This would be a learning experience for you guys.
Absolutely. That's what I want to make sure we do. All right. So how about, okay, we're back to the police officer. So are you taking any martial arts? No. Are you taking it now? What type of martial arts did you take? Taekwondo. So you think that would be helpful in the career as a police officer? Absolutely, right? Defend yourself. Maybe to help others defend themselves. But again, non-traditional routes. Remember, it's a collection of things, right? Because again, I didn't plan on becoming a trainer, oddly enough. I was going to get a desk job, wear a suit and tie every day. That's what I was going to do, right? But I also, as an athlete, always pushed myself, and I wanted to make sure I was giving myself the best chance to be the best that I could be, so I did a lot of self-study. So now we're going to play basketball now while I'm talking. I told you when I'm not looking, I'm watching. Right? Sometimes you got to hear what I'm saying and then listen. Yeah, I missed it. But as I said, that wasn't my plan, but because of my pursuits, I was already training for it, even though I didn't know it. But what it allowed me to do is once I got into athletics and worked with athletes, my business acumen allowed me to build a business, build a brand, use my marketing. So it's never just one thing. It's multiple things. So if I'm a chef, not only do I need to know how to cook the food, I need to know a little bit about food costs. Because maybe I want to open a restaurant. So do you know how to break down food costs? Maybe want to write that down and look at it. Yeah, come on now. Because again, if you ever dream of opening a restaurant, I need to know how much it costs me to produce that plate so that I can then develop the pricing for it, right? So if I go to fine dining and it's a $100 meal, I know how much it costs me. But it also helps you educate yourself so that, like, man, I'm paying too much for this. Like I'm paying $120 for these $5 shoes. Maybe I want to rethink that. Right? Or when I would go get t-shirts made for my company and I see the local clothing shops there, the same place, getting these blank sweatsuits, turning them inside out, and now putting their label on it and charging $100 for the same stuff. So it pays to be knowledgeable about multiple things, right? Because we never know the twists and turns and where our careers may change. Like I said, it may be injury. It may be lost interest. But it may be developing something that you never anticipated. So again, you want to be president and you're not asleep, right? You want to be president, so what steps do I need to take in the meantime? How can I further educate myself? Can I go down to my local city council and sit in and learn about the process? Because that's the steps it takes. City council, maybe it's mayor, maybe it's a state senate. There's steps to it. So are you willing to commit to that? So if I want to be president and it takes me 20 years, are you willing to commit to that? Because that's a lot of commitment. That's way more than 10,000 hours, right? So we got to consider the effort that it takes. If I can guarantee that you can achieve your dream, but the timing may not be what you want, would you still want it? You know, if you want to be a music producer, I said you can, but it's going to take you 15 years. Are you willing to stay committed to that? Are you saying it now, but 15 years, how old are you?
19.
Right? So another 15 years on top of that. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm just saying it's something to consider because it takes time. And even with the time that it takes, there's a lot of failures along the way, but we got to see them as learning experiences, right? Because some people, they're so afraid of failing that they won't even try, right? But it's the mistakes that make us. Those are our learning experiences. We got to keep trying because you may find out it's not something that you want to do. It may not be worth the sacrifice. So dreams can be reevaluated. That doesn't mean we give up on them. Goals can be changed. They're refined along the way. But don't enter a new realm thinking, I'm going to be at the top. Because sometimes the mentality is, oh, I don't want to work in the mailroom. I want to be the president. Well, you got to be in the mailroom to become the president sometimes. Because if I make you president off the bat, can you handle the challenges that come with that? So if you want to play football or basketball, what have you, are you ready for the injuries? Because they're coming. No. What injuries do you have? So how much do you have surgery? Listen, I'm going to say it. You got to get ready for the injuries. Because, yeah, that a strain, a hit, a bruise, that's practice. I mean, I broke my shoulder twice, broke my hand, ripped my toe tendon, and I was not in the NFL, right? Because it's coming. It's coming, right? Yes.
There's a chance you might not get injured, though.
You say again? There's no chance that you won't get injured. What are you talking about? How? Talk to me. How, what do you mean what is the percentage that you won't get injured? I know. It's you know how, listen, I trade a punter. He got injured. You know how he got injured? No. Slipped on the grass practicing his punts. He still got injured because he's working on his craft. Listen, there's going to be some pain with whatever you do. So there's always going to be some kind of injury. It may be mental, maybe physical. There's going to be an injury somewhere. I wish there wasn't. This is the reality. So again, you got to decide, is this what you really want to do? Because it may not be worth the pain. That you got to decide that. If it's worth the pain, then let's do it. For some people, it's not. If I have a kickboxer or a Muay Thai fighter, I know going in, I got to tell them, you have to injure your shins in order to become a fighter. And that sounds ridiculous. Shin is bone-to-bone contact. So you have to start by conditioning your shins. How do you condition your shins? You kick hard stuff over and over and over and over and over again. That's what it takes. So when you see Anderson Silva break his shins weren't conditioned. I mean, you see you kick somebody and that leg wraps around your leg like a sock, you got to decide, is this what you want to do? Harsh reality, right? If you are a jiu-jitsu fighter, you ever see their ears? They're all messed up. They call them cauliflower, jiu-jitsu, cauliflower ears, right? Because that's a sacrifice, or wrestlers. There's going to be a mark left from whatever you do. So for my chef, have you ever been burned cooking? Plenty of time, right? Because if that's what you do, there's going to be some pain. So are you ready for the pain? I hope so. It's going to hurt. But you got to recover, and you got to keep going, and know that's part of it. I mean, my hands are messed up from football and boxing and Muay Thai. And listen, it happens. But along the way, you're gaining wisdom. So you learn better ways to take care of everybody. So the things I never thought I would do is yoga. I mean, imagine me in yoga, but I got to do it. Right? Oh, no, trust me, they laughing at me. They're like, oh, you're in the wrong place. Because yoga people don't look like me. They skinny. You know? But I needed yoga for my strongman competitions, where I'm lifting tool sheds and people in trucks. And it sounded like it wouldn't match, but it's essential. One supports the other. And now, of course, I really get the pain when I do my competitions. Then I'm out of commission for a week. Right? So there's more to what you see on the surface. And that's the key that we want to keep in mind. So now, I hope you learned a little bit of something about pain, right? It's going to take some pain. That's why they call them what? Growing pains. Right? Because that's an investment to gain the return. Did we hit everybody's goal? I want to make sure we get everybody in there. You all can respond. Like, it's interactive. Say yes or no. All right. Do you have any questions for me? This is your free time. Come on, you look like you got a question. You're smiling. You sure? Didn't you say you want to play a sport? You didn't? What was your goal again? Oh, man, so come on, man. You holding out. What's your goal? An engineer. Does that require a lot of math? Which math classes? A lot. I'm hearing a lot. So are we practicing on that on a daily basis? Oh, but we're going to get there, but that's a good question. We're going to get there. What kind, and you know why that's important? Being specific about your goals helps you develop a better plan. Because you might be planning for the wrong thing. And you may be sacrificing for the wrong thing. Be specific. So it's not just I want to play football. I want to play this position. It's not just that I want to be an engineer, this type of engineer. And maybe you're unaware of the different types. So guess what? You got to learn about that. So it takes some effort, right? It takes how many hours? 10,000. But that's part of the learning process. So are you willing to put in that time? How many hours? 10,000. And it starts when? Yesterday. Because when we say now, you know what we say? Oh, I'm going to start on Monday. And there's always another Monday, right? So if you think yesterday, that means you've already started. So you need to start it yesterday, so it is today. I don't know, you all like, that doesn't make sense. But I'm just giving you perspective. Right? Like in self-defense class, I tell them, I don't want you to look, I want you to see. And why do I say that? Because if I'm looking at you and you only, I can't see everything else that's going on around me. But if I see everything, I'm totally aware. That doesn't mean you don't focus, but you got to use your peripheral vision, right? So you have that specified goal, but you leave yourself open to learning something else so that you can refine that goal, better develop that plan. And then it helps reduce some of those sacrifices, right? So how are we going to begin to work together to reach our goals? Don't just look at me like that. Come on now. Say again? No, it wasn't rhetorical. Collaboration. So who are you willing to collaborate and how? With? It doesn't necessarily matter. What do you mean it doesn't necessarily matter? Mentor is good. That's a good place to start. And where do we find mentors? Everywhere. Right? Because again, if we're humble, we see that we can learn from multiple people, but you got to ask. A question that's unasked is a question that's unanswered. So if you're not asking questions, you're not going to get the answers. Even if you're researching, because you may not even know where to research, right? And that's why when I have these talks, I want more questions because guess what? You can get some answers. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Because if you're afraid of asking a question because of the person sitting next to you, that person doesn't have your dream or your goal. And you're only hurting yourself. If you have a goal and you truly want to achieve it, you have to be adamant about it. Passionate about it, right? I'm passionate about what I do. Absolutely, because I want to see people be better. Whether it's speaking, whether it's training, I want them better. That means I push them. Sometimes I pull them. But we're going to move. You know what we're not going to do? We're never going to stay still. Because there is no staying still. Why not? The world keeps moving. If you're standing still, that means you're moving backwards. Right? That's why this is a mental game. The physical is easy. I can tell you do push-ups, squats, eat right. But you got to make up your mind first. Because if your mind ain't right, your grind ain't right. Or when I'm in other settings, if your mental focus isn't aligned with it, right? So you got to change gears. You got to be a chameleon. So I don't do things by accident. Even the mistakes are planned. You can make them better. Don't let that sit on your brain too much. So again, if your mind ain't right, your grind ain't right. So if you hear me repeat stuff, it's to reinforce the point. Right? Because again, marketing is what? Repetition. Everything you do is, didn't I say it was a marketing world? Repetition. Even as a speaker, I had to learn the nuances of becoming a speaker. Because if I stood here and talked to you like this, you might not listen to what I'm, right?
You won't get our attention.
That's right. So you got to be a chameleon. And you continue to refine. I think that's my time. I think they're coming to get me. So, lastly, gentlemen, again, if you want to contact me for sports performance, marketing, speaking, mentorship, you have multiple ways to get in touch with me. Because, again, I'm doing what? I'm marketing, right? So I want you to consider how you operate on the internet as marketing because guess what? What you have online is your resume. Everything you have online is your resume. So that cool picture with you doing something you're not supposed to do, that's your resume. Right? Because I had a young guy, he said, well, I may have some pictures out there, but my account is on private. I said, let me tell you how I can hack your account. No, I'm not a computer whiz, but I know I can take a picture of some little girl that you like, send you a friend request, and you think it's her. Now I got on your page. Now I hacked your page. You thinking, oh man, this girl, yeah. Now I got all your information. Just take some thinking, right? So be careful what you put out there, right? Because you got hype. Oh, man. Doesn't work like that. That's it. All right, gentlemen, thank you for your time. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be around a few minutes. And I have copies of my book today. I have them for $5.
For free?
Attention to detail, man. What did I say? $5, right?
Have you ever worked with sprinters?
Absolutely.